I'm Jason Aponte. That's Brad Graham. Normally, we would talk about the game and everything right now, but it's time to react right now to this. The Arizona Cardinals have the ball on the 3 yard line right now with a chance to take the lead and potentially clinch the number one seed for the San Francisco 49ers with a victory over the Eagles. They are there. It's in. It's in, right? It's in.
No, 5 yards away. 5 yards away.
No. Oh, no. They're on the three. They're on the three. They're already closer than that. Yeah. They're close. This is it right here. So obviously the San Francisco
Oh, I'm
49ers,
behind.
they beat the Washington Commanders, but right now we're sitting here waiting for this Arizona game. Touchdown Cardinals. The Philadelphia
Good score?
Eagles. The
Let's
Philadelphia
go.
Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are frauds. And the
Frauds.
San Francisco 49ers have clinched the number one seed, and they can rest everyone and do whatever they want. Next week's game does not matter. Shout out to the Arizona Cardinals. James Conner does punch it in. Boom. They have the lead with 32 seconds left.
32 seconds left. Oh, my
All you have to
goodness.
do is hold that ball and stop them. Just stop them. What a play from Arizona, man. Good God. I think talking about this game would be a bit of a moot point. But if the 49ers end up with the number one seed, this is it, right? Like we don't have anything else to talk about because now next week's game doesn't matter. Nothing else matters, and the 49ers get to actually rest everybody. So obviously, right now, while we wait for the Eagles to get the ball, we're gonna find out real quick. Christian McCaffrey a little bit injured in this one. I think that's the only real concern coming out of this game. Are you concerned at all? I saw him on the sideline, getting everything taped up on his calf and everything as well too. Are you concerned, or did it just feel like, you know what, Elijah Mitchell's playing well. We don't really have to push it.
There's definitely a level of concern because we've seen over the last couple of weeks, CMC's been he's been messing with that knee quite a bit. So obviously the 49ers were smart to not bring him back in, but there is a level of concern just ensuring like what that looks like moving forward. And if obviously they clinch the one seed today, it's almost like don't even put CMC out on the field against the Rams. Put him on the shelf. You don't need to risk anything. There's a little bit level of concern, but also we knew the 49ers were in a good spot to be able to put him on the side. So we'll see.
Right. And again, if obviously this score holds up, Christian McCaffrey, just stay home, man. Don't even worry about it at this point. I think I've seen it in the chat a little bit. You play some of the guys a little bit just to keep the rust off, but not too long. It depends on what the Rams need. They're going to probably have to win that game, but the 49ers don't have to worry about that because if this holds up, if this score holds up, 30 seconds left, if this score holds up, the San Francisco 49ers will have clinched the NFC number one seed and a bye week and home field throughout the playoffs. They won't have to leave. They will not have to leave the West Coast again at all. No more plane trips, nothing. Everybody stay home, rest up. But we've got 32 seconds left, at least from where I see. Obviously, guys, some of you in the chat are a little bit ahead. So if you could give us the heads up that this is done, we'd love to celebrate with you guys. But the San Francisco 49ers did take care of business against the Washington Commanders. Wasn't always pretty early on, but all things considered, I think this was kind of the outcome that we were expecting. Just took a little bit longer for the outcome to play itself out, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely the first half was a little bit closer than I was looking for. But then once they got out of that, the 49ers just, they turned it up and then they never looked back. So 49ers, they gave us a little bit of a heart attack early on, but the two interceptions, I think, really changed the game. And obviously we know you get turnovers in this league, it's the easiest way to flip a game on its head. So that's exactly what they did.
Man, and Diamador Lenore almost came away with a second interception, man. I thought that was really impressive. He was flying around the ball almost everywhere, man, too. So yeah, again, it is what it is, right? Games aren't always going to be easy. That's why you play the games. Not everything's going to be played on paper. But the 49ers won a game that, they should have won, but it took them a little while to get going. So, yeah, I think, honestly, for me, Mooney Ward continues to play football that is high level. And, you know, the 49ers, Brock Purdy is not a game manager. You all right, Brad? The headphones not working?
My headphones just are not connecting. I don't know why.
As long as you can hear me, I think we should be all right, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we got 20-something seconds. Jalen Hurts drops back. They're just letting them get they have to get a touchdown regardless. So, guys, in the chat, again, if you're ahead of our stream and want to let us know what's going on, let's see. Okay, all right. Yeah. So early on in this game, it was a little shaky, right? But when all things considered, when you say that the Commanders were going to score 10 points, I think we kind of expected something like that. So yeah, right now, it's a win's a win. And I think everything right now, there's 7 seconds left, it looks like, in this Eagles-Cardinals game. 7 seconds away from the number 1 seed for the San Francisco 49ers. And look at Arizona, man. Look at Arizona. That's crazy, right? Like, to think. But I see 7 seconds. It's over. Eagles lose. It's over. Is that true? I need confirmation. I need big confirmation. It is over. Interception. The San Francisco 49ers have clinched the number 1 seed in the NFC. They will have the bye week. They will not have to travel one more time at all. They could even take a bus to Vegas if they want to. It is over. The Philadelphia Eagles.
We got it.
Philly. I don't want to hear. Yeah, I don't want to hear it from Philly, man. I don't want to hear from any Philadelphia Eagles fans, pundits, anything. You're trash. That is embarrassing. The San Francisco 49ers put 40 on this team's head top, and you gave up 35. But the San Francisco 49ers are the number 1 seed. We are celebrating. Get an adult beverage. It is what time? 12:56 on the West Coast. You guys are about to be partying all night. You got all day right now. A happy New Year, San Francisco 49ers fans. What a way to send this year out. Number 1 seed, bye week, San Francisco 49ers, not the Philadelphia Eagles. Cry, Eagles, cry. I wonder if Rocky Balboa is okay right now, because that's all that matters in Philadelphia. Brad, react. The San Francisco 49ers are not traveling anymore. They have the number 1 seed. What do you think?
Again, this is such a phenomenal end to this year. We started this season. It started in training camp. The 49ers weren't shy about the messaging. They talked about it from the very beginning. The goal was to get the 1 seed. I have been talking about it all season. The San Francisco 49ers have been talking about it all season, and they get it with some help from an NFC West opponent, as the Cardinals. Oh, man, the Eagles are spiraling out of control at the moment with this loss. I mean, for the 49ers, being able to get this, the Super Bowl from the NFC, running through the West, everyone having to come to Levi's Stadium. The 49ers have 2 games once they get into the playoffs, and then it's Super Bowl, man. And it has to go through Levi's. This is absolutely phenomenal right now. This is exactly what we wanted. And now we're just this close from the second part of the season starting. But this was goal number 1 when we set out at the beginning of the year, and they did it. This is huge.
Guys, New Year's Eve couldn't have come with a better surprise, right? I see the excitement in the chat. Love this energy, guys. I mean, with everything that's gone on, doesn't Baltimore now feel like 3 weeks ago? Like none of that matters now at this point anymore, right? None of that matters now.
Miami too. They gave Miami fits, so it's all right.
Yes,
it's a game that if we see them in the Super Bowl, we'll be ready to go. They haven't seen nothing yet.
And congrats to Lamar Jackson for locking up the MVP today. He was absolutely phenomenal. 5 more touchdowns. He was just on one. But MVP, who cares? What matters now is all of these guys get to rest. Next week, you can run them for a quarter, maybe a quarter and a half, and just sit everybody, make sure everybody's at home. You can potentially get Eric Armstead back. I wanted to ask you this, actually. Aaron Banks was active, but John Feliciano got the start. What do you deduce from that? Is there anything that you think is strange about that, or is it just, hey, look, you're active as an emergency guy just in case right now something happens?
I think that's it. I think in a must-have-it kind of a moment, Aaron Banks could have went in. But with the current state of the 49ers and where they were at, I didn't think they wanted to kind of put him in that position to, one, re-injure it if they didn't have to, or play him if they didn't have to. So I think it's a good sign that he was dressed, but I do think that the 49ers find themselves in a good spot. I think Aaron Banks will be fine. I wouldn't even play Aaron Banks the rest of the season. I would be starting Feliciano at left and put Burford at right, and we'll see how it goes from there on out.
Yeah, and now it's such a relief, right? Because we kind of talked about this this week about what this game is going to be like going into week 18 with the Rams, and they're going to have everything that on the line, all that stuff. Now, none of that matters now at this point, right? Like the Niners don't have to do anything. And, if you want the team to play to knock the Rams out, I understand that rivalry, but I think being being healthy going into the playoffs is paramount. And you want your guys to get in there. You want your guys to stay a little bit more fresh, right? Like not have any rust, and then boom, you're ready to roll in the divisional against whoever it is that comes to Levi's. But the 49ers will not be leaving home. The next time they'll be leaving home is to go on over to Vegas, which from the Bay Area is not that long of a ride. You know, what's a flight from the Bay to Vegas? What, 45 minutes? Hour?
A couple hours, I don't know. I don't go that
Yeah.
often. So I don't know.
Yeah. So as of right now, that's the only time they're not leaving the West Coast. They're not leaving the West Coast, man. And let's see. Keith Murphy says CMC doesn't need to touch the ball to the playoffs. 100%. 100%. But my goodness, man, the I know this is a 49ers podcast, but my God, the Philadelphia Eagles are just not good. They're just not. They're not good, man. Like I just really like that's not even me like being a hater or anything like that. It's just objectively watching them play football, they look disjointed on both sides of the ball. They can't get it together. I don't know what's the difference. I think that I've kind of alluded to it that Shane Steichen was maybe the secret sauce a little bit, right? Because look at how he's got the Colts playing. And Jalen
They
Hurts'
lost both their
flaws.
coaches on the back end.
Right. So Gannon is the one who did this to them with the Cardinals as well, too. So that's a little sweet revenge. We're talking about revenge game all week with Washington. It's a revenge game for Jonathan Gannon. But I think a lot of Jalen Hurts' flaws are now brought up because the offense is disjointed. There is no more RPO game like that. He kind of just looks to like float around and hope somebody pops out down the field and throw the ball, right? Like last year he was the same type of quarterback, but it was masked with them winning, right? And with the way that he was running the football. Right now, this is the quarterback he was last year. And it's coming to the forefront right now. Michael Everett, thank you for the donation, buddy. Great New Year's Day for me. Happy New Year's to all 49ers fans and only 49ers fans. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your time with your family. Talk some shit, man, and enjoy an adult beverage, man. Like you see Brady's working away trying to get all these posts out and everything as well too. What a fun time, man. Doesn't it feel like that Baltimore game is months away, like it was that far, like see how week to week things can change so quickly, and it's just like, hey, if we see them again, we see them again, but we don't have to worry about that because nobody on the 49ers is going to have to travel.
Yeah, man. What about Brock Purdy? Now
Oh, yeah.
the 49ers single season record holder for passing yards in a season, taking down Jeff Garcia and Steve Young along the way. And they did it, and he did it in 16 games. I like the fact that he did it in 16 because they're not going to be like, oh, we did it in 17. Those guys did it in 16. It's an apples to apples comparison. He does it in 16. And again, man, shout out to Brock for being able to answer the way he did, considering all the scrutiny that he received this week and just throughout the season. For him to come back, keep dealing. He hit that dime to Brandon Ayuk over down the right sideline, and then is able to direct traffic, finds Brandon Ayuk in the back of the end zone. And good to see, man. Good to see for Brock. Yeah. Good to see Christian McCaffrey go for over 2,000 scrimmage yards. First player since Frank Gore did it in 2006. Then you had Kittle go for 1,000, and that means you have Brandon Ayuk, the first duo of 1,000 receiving yard guys since 1998 when Terrell Owens and Jerry Rice did it. So those
guys are pretty good
stuff going down, man. Like the 49ers were doing work today.
Yeah, and it's so good to have all this kind of wrapped up because now you can put all that aside. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan, Tyrod Taylor is loose and deep. Uh-oh, the Rams are in trouble. We're about to start talking crazy about everybody at this point. Everybody's about to get it. I think Mason Crosby is their active kicker right now. But they are
Uh-oh.
currently sitting at the 35 right now with a chance to hit a field goal with time expiring. So look, Arizona beat Dallas and Philadelphia. What is the NFC East record against the West? Right, the Niners 4-0.
Can't be good.
Niners 4-0. Right. Seattle beat Philly. Seattle beat the Giants. Seattle lost to Dallas. They beat Washington, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Arizona has the 2, right? I don't think they. I can't look. All I know is look. The NFC East is weak, man. Dallas is weak. They probably should have lost last night. I didn't see the game. I'm gonna stay away from that as well too. But kind of going back to what we were talking about, this week, right? Um, it feels like after that Baltimore game, when you really focus on the NFC opponents, there's not anyone that jumps out at you, right? Like it just there's not anybody that really jumps out at you, right? Like yeah, you might be nervous to see the Rams, right? Because they're a divisional opponent. You got to beat them 3 times, right? I don't think you're scared of Tampa Bay. Look at how they played today. I don't think you're scared of Philadelphia. I don't think you're scared of anybody at this point. I think the 49ers just have to get healthy and just execute, man. It does not seem like there's a team in the NFC that really is about it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the AFC teams, in like if we're talking about Miami or the Ravens, feel like they pose a greater threat than really any other team in the NFC right now. Obviously, we understand any given Sunday, and any team could show up whenever, but right now it feels like the 49ers are the absolute class of the NFC, and it's going to be a challenge for any team that has to come to Levi's Stadium, try to get past them, to move on. The fact that the 49ers get a first round bye is just so huge. And again, the biggest reason is for health. Obviously, you get out of an elimination situation, but you can get healthy. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I think the way the guys answered today was huge. Again, wasn't the best start to the game in the world. It was closer than I think all of us would have wanted. But the way they answered in the second half,
Mason Crosby missed the kick. Mason Crosby missed the kick.
Did he?
It looks like the Rams win. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Gosh, of course he did.
Damn
and
kickers.
So the 49ers, man, I appreciate the way they came out, the way they kept fighting, because it was a weird situation. We know these East Coast games, 10 a.m. start times. I mean, these guys are waking up way earlier than normal, and it could just kind of throw off your momentum a little bit. But I'm loving the way they responded. And again, we talked about it earlier in the week. You want to build momentum, at this part of the year. So I feel like that game, even if they start to rest starters next week, that was a good answer. That was a good response. And now they have some momentum heading into the end of this season, whether they go with resting players against the Rams or not. So the Rams just won, right? They just beat New York.
They just beat the Giants
on a missed kick.
Missed kick.
Kickers, they got something to play for. So they're gonna be coming after us.
Yeah, they are. I mean, well, but then still, the 49ers' job is not to keep them out. It's to get out of that game healthy, get your guys some reps and everything, right? Like, there's no reason to push anything like that just because we want to be petty. I mean, if I was in Madden, I would do something like that. But I think the biggest goal is to just be healthy at this point. So whoever needs the Rams to lose, I feel sorry for you, because the 49ers are not going to play their guys for the entire game. Maybe some backups, make some plays, but I think it's imperative the 49ers just go into the playoffs healthy. I think that's the only thing that really could get in their way at this point. But yeah, and I kind of wanted to talk about, the way this game was won, right? Because, I always say this all the time, like, this isn't college football. There's no style points. You don't rise in the rankings because you put 50 up on Hawaii State. A win is a win is a win in the NFL, right? And you kind of wanted to see at least a little one of the two of these games, regardless of the opponent, of like where the 49ers don't have it going and they're not like rolling, right? And it just eventually happens. I think that's another way to look at this game. It's a new way for them to find a way to win. And it's something that they may need in their back pocket as the games get tougher going forward. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, again, the 49ers have talked about it before, getting into kind of those gutty games, those gritty ones. They know how they play when they're up big. It's how do these guys play when they're going toe to toe and they're getting jabs back and all that type of stuff. And so I think, as much as it would have been phenomenal to watch these guys just throttle them from the very jump. I think the fact that they had to come out, make some adjustments, and make some plays out of half before it was put to bed. And then, the typical fourth quarter, right? Sam Darnold comes in, you let those guys
Right.
run it out. I think is good, but I think the fact that they had to answer out of halftime and be like, man, we can't let this one slip away. And you saw them ratchet it up a notch. I think that's big for moving forward.
Yeah, and how many we talked about the stats earlier, right, Brad? Like you talked about Brock Purdy being the single season passing record, right? How much more could he have had if he doesn't leave these games in the fourth quarter so early? Like,
he
right,
could
like
be he could definitely be encroaching on 5,000 yards
five
probably if
thousand. Yeah.
5,000, yeah, if they were playing competitive games all the way throughout the fourth quarter, but they just haven't. They've been blowing out teams.
Hey, look, I mean, I'm not trying to say that just for stats. I'm just trying to give context because when people look and they say, "Oh, well, look at his attempts and everything," it's like, yeah, these games are over, like in the third, fourth quarter. That's why you see Sam Darnold so much. Um, I did want to touch on something, and Charlene brought it up. Hello, Elijah Mitchell. I mean,
Yeah.
that's probably the best that we've seen him run since last year or the year before that, actually, his rookie year. That's the best we've seen him run in a while. I mean, it makes it so much easier to sit Christian McCaffrey when you're still being able to rip off runs, man. Elijah Mitchell could be potentially something that we had hope would happen, but maybe, he gets one more game this week. He's probably going to get the brunt of it, him and Jordan Mason. But my goodness, man, the 1-2 punch that could be with those two, I think it's a little bit of a like an ace in the hole, something that we didn't see coming.
Yeah, man, Elijah did a phenomenal job coming in. And we know he's a capable runner. It's just, is he healthy? Is he not healthy? And when he's healthy, he can be absolutely a key component of the 49ers running game. So this just in from Kyle Shanahan on Christian McCaffrey. He says he thinks he'll be all right. So typically when Kyle's talking like that, he doesn't want to speak definitively, but he also wants to kind of put our minds at ease. So I do think that Christian McCaffrey should be all right. So we don't have to worry about a serious injury. So that's good. But if you have guys like Elijah Mitchell and Jordan Mason that can come in and continue to push the ball down or work the ball downfield within the running game, I mean, Elijah Mitchell coming in and doing what he needed to do to close out the game was awesome, and allowed Christian McCaffrey not have to force himself back into that game. So that was big performance by Elijah, who got his first touchdown of the year. It's been a
Yeah.
challenging year for him, man. Just
Yeah.
either getting hurt in games, getting hurt in practices. But you see when he's healthy and he's ready to go, he can be an impact to this team.
Yeah, and Roberto Davis, let's do it, man. Jason, can we speak on how the Niners broke Philly? Philly, they've been frauds, man. It's been happening. It's all there in front of you. They almost lost to the New England Patriots. I mean, like every single game feels like a struggle. The Giants almost put it on them on Christmas Day. They're just not like that, man. They're not scary at all. They're disjointed. AJ Brown hates everything. Jalen Hurts when he has to go through progressions. By the way, Robbie Gold was the one who pointed out make him be a quarterback. Maybe kickers do know ball. He's absolutely right. But yeah, Philly, I don't even want to talk about them anymore, man. Like it's funny to make fun of them, but they're not a part of the conversation. They're not a part of the conversation anymore. And they haven't been for a while. I mean, I said it right after the 49ers beat them, but I never felt like they were head and shoulders above, right? Like last year they felt different. They don't feel like that this year. And again, kind of going back to what I was saying about like how you win games doesn't matter, but they're not even like winning games now at this point. I mean, they've dropped 5 games already, right? And they should have lost to the Giants. They should have lost to the Patriots, the Chiefs. If our MVS catches that pass, the Bills, right? And by the way, speaking of the Bills, Bills Dolphins for the AFC East next week. We got a really, really good game coming up on that. But the Philadelphia Eagles are just not like that, man. They're just not like that. Shout out to everybody in here, 25 minutes in, almost 500 people in here. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to both channels. The San Francisco 49ers are the #1 seed in the NFC. Signed, sealed, delivered. The 49ers won't be leaving home. Everybody gets to rest. We don't have to worry about Christian McCaffrey's injury. Possibly get Eric Armstead back. Brad. Like, that's insane to think. Yeah, that's huge. But I did kind of want to. Oh, Brian Boucher, I didn't want to lose this one. Thank you, Cardinals. Brock Purdy is the new passing king. Welcome back, Elijah. Thank you for the donation. And I kind of wanted to highlight this one real quick. Niner Drag, thank you for the donation. He says, why slow start against his bad defense? Was it the travel? Or was it Baltimore's inspired play that gave Washington confidence? Brad, I'll let you take this one to start.
Was it the defense or was it the 49ers being a little sluggish? I think it's a combination
in the red zone
of both.
Yeah.
What was that?
In the red zone. That's the part that I find at least a little bit troubling. Is like when you get in the red zone and you take 3. I know a 49ers team that did that over and over, right? Like where you kind of just you can't take 3. You got to get 7, right? But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but essentially too, it's like, we saw them go for it on fourth, and the game was over at that point, but obviously you still want to punch it in. So, I mean, little things to take away, but to be honest.
Oh, you got muted. You good.
I think the 49ers' #1 goal was to come in here and get the dub, and that's exactly what they did. So, yes, you want to be a little bit better in the red zone. But hey, credit to their defense. They have 2 of the best interior defensive tackles in the game. They had some young players step up, and they're all playing for jobs next year. So you got to give them a little bit of credit for how they played, because there's going to be huge sweeping changes within that building, and they came out and gave us their best shot. And it's the NFL. These guys all get paid millions of dollars, and they did a good job, but it was up to the 49ers to ensure they didn't get trapped, and they didn't, and they were able to come away with the victory.
Again, muddy victories. Fred Warner talked about it. I think this team has kind of had to just check off that box. I mean, everybody wants to see them come back, but I don't suspect that they'll be down like they were to the Baltimore Ravens in any game. So I guess this is just people putting parameters around why the 49ers are good, because, well, they haven't come back from a 21-0 deficit. Oh, they haven't come back. Like, who cares? Like, if you're not going to be down, like, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to purposely get down so they can just make you feel good about it just, for me, it's just getting the win, right? Like finding a way to get the win. That's it.
Right.
So, like, a little bit to your point, like in the red zone, it did kind of feel like it stalled out. You did have that throw from Purdy to Juszczyk that I don't blame Juice for dropping, but man, Purdy couldn't have put that ball in a better spot, right? And then that ball's at the
one. That was a Purdy ball, Jason.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. But it is what it is, right? When things aren't going right, you have to find a way to execute regardless of the opponent. This is the NFL, right? We watch it all the time. How did this team lose to this team? They're so much better. It's because those guys get paid too, right? The idea of tanking, I feel like we've debunked it, because like you said, guys are playing for their jobs. Playing for their jobs. And you can't put bad film out there just so you can help your team get a draft pick, because then you'll find yourself out of a job.
Those players don't care about draft picks. They don't care at all. They're not trying to help the guys coming in to take their job. They do not care about it.
That's why I hate that. Like, oh, he's tanking. Why would he do that? He's going to be fired, and he's going to not get a job.
He's not going to be doing anything with those picks.
Right. So again, in this league, everybody's and especially as you're the 49ers, everybody's going to give you their best shot. And you definitely want to make sure that you are able to respond regardless of the opponent. And I think, again, the 49ers found a way to get it done. And thank you again, Arizona Cardinals. Happy New Year, 49ers fans and 49ers fans only. Man, I can't wait to get off of here once we're done, because I'm going to Twitter to light up the streets. You know how I do, Brad. I'm about to start. I'm going to get in my bag going crazy on the Eagles, talking crazy about them, because all they did was do this. But now all they do is do this and fly away, because they're not around, bro. They've been ghost. They've been ghost for a while. Let's see. Let's get to some more super chats. Let's see. Armstead and Jennings are missing pieces that affect impact on execution. Yeah, I mean, that third down play, it felt like Juwan Jennings was missing. On the throw to Ronnie Bell. Seems like he always seems to make a play like that. But yeah, I mean, you want everybody healthy. Again, Jennings has a concussion. He can get 2 more weeks to rest up. Hopefully this Liz Frank injury, or it's plantar fasciitis, I'm sorry, for Eric Armstead just gets a little bit more healed. So he's ready to go for the divisional. But yeah, right. Doesn't it feel like they're kind of missing Juwan Jennings, or especially on third down?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, his physicality that he brings in the run game, what he does on third downs and in the red zone, he provides such a different skill set too. Absolutely, absolutely huge. So it'll be interesting to see when he comes back, if he'll be back. But they've definitely been missing Juwan Jennings out there for sure.
Yep. Lil Heater says it's 4 here on the East Coast. It sure is. Crack a beer open, start celebrating way ahead of you. Saucy Aponte's already in the building. We got a long night to go before New Year's Eve. I'm waiting for my little girl to get
Oh,
here.
that's right.
Me and
It's
her gonna
New
ring it.
Year's Eve. So much going
Yes.
on. I'm like, I don't even know what to focus on, man.
I mean, well, we went into this game thinking, oh, well, we're gonna have to, go and win the next game. Now you don't have to. So a lot of things kind of happen at the end there. But yeah, I'm just waiting for my little one. I'm gonna end up, just celebrating with her, man, and ringing in the new year with her. But couldn't think of a better New Year's way to ring it in than with you guys talking about this team being the number 1 seed, having a bye week, having everything in front of them. You've got to come to Levi's now, and it just feels great, man. And to quote a great quarterback, it feels great, baby.
Oh, nice. Nice.
30 minutes in, 480 people. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to both channels, hit that notification bell for when we go live. 49ers are the number 1 seed in the NFC. They will not have to travel anymore unless they go into Vegas, which I think they are. They are not going to the Pro Bowl, okay? But the Arizona Cardinals did knock off the Philadelphia Eagles. The Los Angeles Rams did beat the New York Giants today, and currently it is 0-0 Steelers and Seahawks. The Seahawks just got an interception as the great Mason Rudolph is playing football today for them. So, yeah, and Deontay Johnson, stop selling my fantasy team by fumbling the ball away without getting touched, man, please. And shout out to all you guys that are ready to win some fantasy championships. Let me know in this chat. Let me know in the chat if you guys are on the cusp of a championship, right? Like, who did you guys have in these games that went off for you? Kyron Williams is winning championships right now. 3 touchdowns today. A lot of great performances today for fantasy. So, Brad, I wanted to get a little sentimental real quick, man. Today's the last day of the year. Last day of the year. It's crazy, man. This year flew by. This is our 3rd year of doing state of the franchise, covering the team. It's just everything flies by when it's like in the off season. We're like, oh my God, when is football coming back? And then football flies by, right? And now here we are, right? And it's just done. Yep. Yeah, and it's just done. But man, it's our 3rd year of doing this together, Brad, man. And I just want to tell you, in front of everybody, as good as you are as an analyst, you're a better friend. And I wish you and your family nothing but a happy new year, man.
Dude, I can't believe that it's 3 years of doing State of the Franchise, streaming with you, doing this Niners content journey together. It's been absolutely nuts, but it's so fun being able to have guys like you, Jordan Elliott, and everyone else that we've kind of been coming up together, man. It's been such a blast, and so happy to be able to do with a guy like you. You make my job easier when we got to do streams together. You make it literally effortless for me, which I appreciate so much, man. And here we are. We want that ring, man. And the 49ers now have the 1 seed, and we guaranteed got more games beyond this season. So absolutely love this for us, man.
Man, something special is happening, Brad. Something special is happening. And we've been through covering seasons, right? The 2021 season felt special, right? If 2019 felt special. But yeah, man, it's something's different. Like, this team just feels like head and shoulders above everybody else, right? And it just feels like anytime the 49ers are on the field against someone, they're the better team. And that's something that I think, while you may believe it, I think objectively you have to look at the 49ers, even if you don't like them, and say, yeah, they're probably going to, beat this team or beat that team who's in front of them, because they are that good. And they still have people that they can get back. I mean, Eric Armstead coming back will be huge, man. The same thing with, getting Jennings back and getting McCaffrey healthy, and possibly, again, Elijah Mitchell, man, that feels important. That feels significant for him to be able to be pressed into the fire and then just look like that guy that he was in his rookie year that broke the rookie rushing record. So yeah, man. I mean, look, it's a great time to be a 49ers fan right now, especially considering the way that they just clinched the number one seed and everything as well too. Niner Drag just said he subscribed. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Uh, this team feels special, man. They feel destined for something. They have their goal in mind. Now they get to rest. And a little bit to Fred Warner's point on his podcast about, it doesn't matter about the number one seed. He didn't say he doesn't care. He's just talking about overall playing your best football. And at least the 49ers are in that direction after this win against Washington, regardless of the opponent.
Yeah, I think a lot about like what Fred was saying was like when you're thinking about the one seed, you're thinking beyond the game in front of you. And we already know that the 49ers are a very one game at a time mentality. So I think everyone was kind of looking ahead a little bit. Brock Purdy talked about it last week, like looking and paying attention to the MVP noise and all that type of stuff and how it kind of got them, I think, unfocused a little bit. So I think the whole team was like, it was a wake up call. What that Ravens game was, kind of not buying your own hype and, getting back to what got you here in the first place. And that's what you need to do regardless of all the hype and just put your head down, play your game and get after it. That's exactly what they did. Come out with the dub.
Yeah, and in this league, again, you can't make excuses for who was missing, right? You're still a professional. You still got to go out there and be prepared. And especially with the way that this culture is built with this team, the next man up mentality is something that they've had to unfortunately really dive into because of the injuries, particularly at the quarterback position. But this team went out and they found a way to get a W, and I think that's the best thing that you can say, man. Let's see. VZ says, thank you for the donation, man. You guys are both awesome. We appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. Happy New Year, my man. Happy New Year. Enjoy the
Happy
time
New
with your
Year.
family, man. Everybody enjoy the time with your family, man, and enjoy this win. And if you see an Eagles fan in the street, well, I don't know if you would see them. Would you see an Eagles fan in the Bay? Would you see them out there? I don't
No,
think they're out there.
no.
No. All right. Well, tag an Eagles
Especially
fan
after
on
today.
Tag an Eagles fan on Twitter and let them know that their team stinks and the 49ers are going to be in Levi Stadium at home the entire time waiting for everybody. But yeah, man, thank you, VZ, for that. And enjoy your time with your family. Brad, anything else, man? I think that we kind of covered everything as well, too. Shout out to Mooney Ward. What a game. I think that's really, really good, too, as well. Charlene saying props to Logan for stepping into safety today. That's why, again, the 49ers, they're like, you ask the 49ers, why are you bringing in Logan Ryan for moments like this, just in case, right? Jair Brown misses. Now Jair Brown gets to relax. So, yeah, it's this team has built themselves in a way where they're reactive. They're not reactive, they're proactive. And it's for situations like this. And you get professionals, you get guys who are all committed to the same goal, and you get guys that want to win a ring. Why wouldn't you come to a team that's been so close like this and feels like they're on the preface of something really, really special? So, yeah, I mean, it's just the way that the team has been built. So you got to give a lot of credit to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, no matter how much we talk about, sometimes missed picks and all that stuff. But yeah, still this culture is solid, man.
Those what John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan. I'm going to throw Jed York into the mix. For a guy that we gave a lot of crap for, in the Harbaugh years, and after that, they've really shown to be a unit when it comes to a front office, to coaching staff, football ops, everything in between. To the craziness of Nick Bosa's holdout all offseason. It might not be pretty every single time, but they figure out ways to get it done. And from the top down, starting with Jed York, this whole organization deserves a ton of credit for making hard choices, trading Trey Lance. I mean, it goes on and on about what the San Francisco 49ers had to do to put themselves in this position, and by no stretch of the imagination was it easy at all. They've had to do some crazy things. So tip of the cap to everyone involved in the organization for being able to come out on top and continue to keep the number one thing in mind, which is winning and doing it at all costs.
Yep. And Tanya says, Happy New Year, guys. My two favorite content creators, Michael Moody says Jason is the kicker in the third round that made all the difference. Hell yeah, let's just run with it. I'm not gonna disparage a Moody to Michael Moody, okay? Like you guys are Moody brothers. I can't disparage him. He's done nothing wrong. And Toxic Runner says, Lamar definitely closed his case for MVP. I agree. Fortunately, guys, I have a vote this year. I will be voting for Lamar Jackson, but Purdy will take us to a ring. I think that's far more important. And I think a lot of that MVP discussion, like Brad was saying, it kind of got them a little bit hung up on defending him and stuff like that as opposed to staying focused. Go.
But how helpful will that be heading into Super Bowl week? Like, how helpful will all that talk, all the lead up, everything leading into the Ravens game? I mean, we know how many eyes were on that game. We talked about it being the optics game. What a great lesson at this portion of the year for the San Francisco 49ers to deal with the noise, deal with the optics, deal with the hype, because it's going to be the same level when they get to Super Bowl week. This time, they're prepared. They're ready to go. They know that they know what the task at hand is, and that if they lift up and start looking around and listening to people, that's how they get distracted. That's how they get their eye off the prize. I think that's going to turn out to be a blessing in disguise, just like that 3-game losing streak was. The 49ers are going to figure out how to be able to move forward much better, I think, because of that loss to the Ravens. So not even worried about that loss to the Ravens. 49ers clinch the 1 seed. That's all that matters. Super Bowl MVP is way cooler than regular MVP in my opinion. So that's fine with me.
And I'll go back to what I was saying. Like, I don't really care where you rank Brock Purdy. I don't care who you think he's better than. I don't care. Just play good football like you've been playing, and that's it. And if you win, I don't care. Rank him 1, rank him 10, rank him 20, rank him 30. Don't care. I'm not here to argue about that. What I am here to argue is that this team, when he plays well, is going to win a bunch of games. And that's all that matters. Like, I really don't care. So for me, it's like I don't understand, like, basically, like, when it comes to the discussion of like, oh, he's this, he's that. I don't care. The young man's playing phenomenal football, and he has for a large part of the season. I'll let you guys get down to the semantics of who you think is better or what's going on. It's not a big deal to me. I think as long as Purdy plays like the way he's been playing, the 49ers is going to be a tough out, and that's all that really matters. It's not about who I have to make an argument for him over this guy. I don't care. I'm not interested in any of that. I'm sure that that's good for content and clicks, but it doesn't matter because the 49ers just need him to play the way he's been playing, and they're going to win a lot of games and possibly, bring home number 6. And I think that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Jason, I'm just hyped. So much stuff's going on right now. You see me, I got 3 eyes on my phones trying to keep up with everything that's going down. I mean, we've got videos coming out, man, of all the players reacting to,
So good.
the 49ers seeing that they've got the 1 seed in
good.
the hallway after the game. This is a special team. This is a special year. I'm just hyped, man. I'm just so hyped with where the 49ers currently stand. And again, yes, last week sucked. It was terrible. We had to deal with the all week of everyone crapping all over our quarterback, all over our team. Fine. It is what it is. We know what the ultimate prize is at the end of the day. This team's focused. They're built the right way. It is what it is. And we got the Rams next week. 49ers are rolling right now, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
100%, man. And I think that's a perfect place to end this New Year's stream, guys. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to both channels, hit that notification bell for when we go live. That's Brad Graham. I'm Jason Aponte. Happy New Year's, guys. Happy New Year, Brad. Happy New Year to your family. Happy New Year to everybody who's watching. Enjoy your time with your family. Crack a bunch of adult beverages. Please be safe. Please be responsible. But don't be safe and responsible when you're talking crazy to Eagles fans or Seattle fans or anybody like that. Please, I encourage you.
Cardinals, man. Shout out the Cardinals.
Yeah. Hey, look at and I added them today on Twitter. I was like, can you do something once in your franchise's history that's like good? And hey, look, and see, that's all he got to do. Like, I added the team page. I hope they kind of dunk on me and be like, "You're welcome." I'll be like, "Oh, thanks." But for Brad, for Jason, we're out of here. Enjoy your New Year's, guys. We will see you next year. I know that's a corny dad joke, right? See you guys next year. But
we got a super chat right here at the end.
Oh, we do. Oh, hold up. At the buzzer, let me get to it real quick because I was getting ready to play the video at the buzzer. Hold on, give me 1 second. Oh yeah. Ruben S says, Happy New Year, guys. Appreciate the both of you. Let's go Niners, 100%. And we got a new member. Shout out Vishal, man. Thank you, Ruben, for the generous donation. Shout out Vishal for joining the Spicy Squad, man. Hey, again, Happy New Year's, guys. Enjoy your time. This this feels great, man. The 49ers are the number 1 seed. They're not going to have to play football on Wild Card weekend. We get to sit and watch and laugh at other people's misery while we sit and rest up and get our guys ready to go. So for Jason, for Brad, we're out of here. Enjoy your New Year's. Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason.